up, guys? Welcome back to Making Finances Sexy. It's me, Rose Short, aka the Red Queen. I am a realtor here in the Phoenix Valley, as well as a financial consultant and CEO of Chronica Luxury. It's my mission to help you build multiple streams of income without breaking the bank, fire your boss, and live your dream life. So come down the rabbit hole with me. And of course, I'm joined by the beautiful, wonderful Jessica Lay.
Hey, welcome to Making Finances Sexy. My name is Jessica Lay, your Rent Rave owned realtor and certified instructor with the company 101 Financial. Same as Rose, right here in our Valley of the Sun, making it my mission to assist you in moving out of renting and into homeownership, no matter your situation. I'm ready to be your personal finance coach and first-time home buyer specialist. And I'm really excited to talk about getting out of our comfort zone today. Woo!
Yes! We're going to get uncomfortable.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very sexy, but the outcome's sexy.
Yes. Jillian Michaels used to always say, get comfortable with getting uncomfortable. And you know what? She is right.
Yeah. And I feel like everyone's been in an uncomfortable situation in their lives. And if we can train our minds to not think of it in a negative connotation, then it makes the uncomfortable situations a lot easier to handle. And you'll be glad that you did it.
Yes, there's an old saying that I really enjoy, which is comfort is the enemy of success. And what that means is once you get comfortable, you get complacent. Once you get complacent, you really don't strive for getting above and beyond your current situation. So while being comfortable is awesome, being comfortable can also keep you stuck.
Yep, and we're gonna get into that right now. So a quote I got off the internet: life is uncertain, life is finite, and life is ending 1 minute at a time. And I remember telling this to you, Rose, and you enjoyed that
Oh,
quote.
I love it. I love it so much because it's true. I mean, time is a construct anyway, and like everyone wants money so that they can have their time back. Which is why Chronica Luxury literally means, time is my luxury.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and so like so many people waste it just because they don't want to get out of their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just get stuck in the midst of our daily routines. We often forget that our life is constantly changing and that we're the ones in control of our own destinies. We might take our circumstances for granted and assume that things will always stay the same, but deep down inside, we feel the persistent sense or yearning for something more. I know I do. But I have been in the situation like working in the automotive industry. I stayed at a job that I really did not like. I was so unhappy. Like, you ever had a job where you are driving in and you kind of feel anxious and like you really don't want to be going to work? And it's just not a good place to be, but we get stuck in that. Or me personally, I was stuck in that because I was like, I'm making really great money. If I was to leave, then I won't be making this money anymore, and life is going to be really hard. And I just stayed with this job way longer than I wish I had until finally something big happened, which broke me out of that workplace environment. And it ended up being the best decision. And I don't know why I just ended up staying there unhappy for as long as I did, when I actually could have quit and would be fine and find something that I actually really enjoy doing, like real estate and helping people with their personal finances.
Yeah, I kind of had the opposite where like when I was involved in the corporate world, like I was convinced that, it didn't suck and like I would make excuses not even realizing it. And then when I got fired for advocating for the associates, which yeah, whatever, it's toxic corporations for you.
Mhm.
Um, I woke up the next day and I was like, oh my God, I'm happy. I'm relaxed. Like getting fired is the best thing that could have happened, and like I was making really good money. So from a financial perspective, it sucked, but from a mental perspective, it was such a wake up call of just how toxic it was and how deeply I was lying to myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's the fear of change. So it's easy to stick with what's familiar because it's comfortable and safe, even if it means stagnation or unhappiness in the long run. It's a fact that most of us need some external stimulus in order to wake up and make major changes in our lives. We shouldn't wait for these major changes, but we're only human. So, yeah.
Yeah, for me, the tipping point of really trying to start my own company and get the online income and whatnot was a little bit getting tired of having to rely on other jobs to hopefully get me to my end goal of moving overseas and having a property there. But it was actually my mom. So my mother's husband died a year or two ago,
Mhm.
and that was hard on her. And then her job, she was making, they were giving her a hard time about still being angry and like having, you know, emotional outburst, not outbursts, but like breakdowns almost,
Mhm.
like 2 or 3 months after he died. And she was like, do you want me just to be over this in a month? Like, was my bereavement days supposed to, you know, be enough to set me straight? And it made me so angry they were treating her like that, even though I understand it from a business perspective,
Mhm.
that I was like, you know what, I need to make enough money that I can supplement her social security and whatnot so she doesn't have to work.
Yeah.
Like that was my tipping point.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like once you have a sorry, I'm losing my
It's okay.
train of thought. Good thing for editing.
Right. But yeah, that's one of the reasons that like I teach people, you know, have your why, write it down, put it where you can see it. Because if your why is strong enough, the excuses don't matter.
Yeah, exactly. I actually have a sticky note in my bathroom that says why, so I can take lots of trips and vacations with Kalani and spend more time with my dogs and just live the life that we want to live,
Yep.
not being chained by our 9 to 5s, which 9 to 5s are great in the beginning. Um, Definitely recommend them because we do need to have that steady income.
But yeah, Jess, it's I just wrote that article on it, right? It's the now and later situation. Like you need now income, but you need to be building that later income. Because pensions and 401ks, like they're not what they used to be. They're not something we can rely on, right? And so use your 9 to 5 to start funding the things you need to build whatever your dream and passion is and get it to the point that it replaces the 9 to 5, right? The goal isn't to make the millions of dollars. The goal is to set yourself free from the 9 to 5. And once you break it down in those smaller segments of, okay, I want my side hustle to make my car payment. Okay, now it's making my car payment. Now I want it to make my car payment and my insurance payment. Then you build up to where you're making as much of the side hustle as you are the 9 to 5, but that doesn't mean you quit the 9 to 5 unless it's really toxic and you really need out. What that means is you use that to scale so that maybe you're in that 9 to 5 for 3 more years, but your later income is now triple your 9 to 5 income. And so when you do finally quit the 9 to 5, it's fine. You're free already.
Yeah, and 9 to 5 in regards to my personal financial course, our 99 financial course, it's very important that we have that steady income and we are able to use the banks to pay off any debt that our students may have, which then turns to having them start saving money, which then can turn to slowly working their way into supplemental passive income or online marketing or whatever it is that they want to start doing. And you know that you're going to be okay because you still have money coming in and you're, as long as you're still paying your bills, and you can also see that you have that extra capital that can be invested into your own businesses. And it's a long game. So keep working, keep plugging away at those passive income strategies. And then eventually it will start working for you where you can replace that 9 to 5.
Exactly. And speaking of the long game means you need to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah, and the risk and reward dynamic, we're inclined to focus on the downsides of a new path, such as potential or failure or loss, rather than believing in the potential upsides, which we get fulfillment, growth, and a better quality of life.
Yes. Well, and I think a lot of people are afraid that they're going to lose people along the way. And the truth is, you do, right? There's always like that person who's like, oh, I knew them before they were successful. But then you listen to that person's mindset and it's like, God, no wonder they don't talk to you anymore. Like you are happy being unhappy. So
Mhm.
as you level up, there's going to be people in your life now who don't level up with you. And it sucks and it's going to suck. And you're going to find out that your friends and family don't support you.
Mhm.
But you can't let them hold you back. You can't let someone else's insecurities and issues stop you from achieving your dreams, your passions, your goals.
Absolutely. And it's funny, Kalani was talking about this the other day. He was naming off a few of our friends that he's like, I really enjoy talking to so and so, so and so, because we talk about investing and wanting to buy a house and leveling up our lives. But then, like, other so and so, so and so are still kind of stuck in their own ways, complaining a little bit more about life and being um just not having money or anything, and complain. That kind of sucks a lot of energy out of you, kind of listening to those people compared to the people that also want to level up and do better in their lives. And the conversations are a lot more fun and beneficial than to those that we're just listening to complain, and we fill with advice that doesn't get followed. So you really got to be careful who you have in your circle if you're really trying to level up and be better, because unfortunately you can still love your friends that are not in the same mindset as you, but just be careful giving your time and energy towards those people. Mhm.
Yeah, that's one of my other favorite sayings is sit with the winners because the conversation's different.
Yeah.
And it's true. The people that are succeeding, they're having conversations about, scaling and collaborations and how we can help each other and whatnot. And it's the people who are struggling who are the ones throwing rocks and complaining and, trying to tear down the ones who are successful.
Mhm.
And one of my favorite sayings when it comes to building your business is first they laugh at you, then they mock you, then they watch you, then they want to know how you did it.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense. It happens with a lot of my students. I'll share personal financing with lots of people, and then after a few years, they'll finally come reach out to me and be like, okay, now I need some help because they realize what they're doing isn't working. So why not get out of your comfort zone, try something new, and you can only reap the benefits. It's great.
So true.
Because I was scared at first to enroll in a course to really take a look at my finances, but it's also exciting because you think about what you're going to get out of it. You're going to get out of it the knowledge to handle your money, have control over your money, and start saving up for goals like purchasing your first home or going on that vacation in Europe that you've always wanted to go on, and just better quality of life for you and generations to come behind you if we can all get on that same playing field and support each other along the way. There's so much love and support out there, when you do step out of your comfort zone, and when you have that and focus on that, you'll just continue to get a lot further in life.
Yeah. And there's gonna be haters. They're gonna comment, and you just gotta let it roll off of you.
Yeah, but definitely, if anybody thinking about getting out of their comfort zone, there's a few things we could recommend, if you're just getting started. And one of the first thing is surrounding yourself with more confident people. Joining a real estate team when I got my real estate license was the best decision in that sense. I was going to try to do real estate on my own, but joining a team, surrounding myself with confident people who are great at speaking to clients, and I get to model from, and it's uncomfortable, but at least you have that support group along the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. We used to do team days where we would all get together and make our phone calls. And the reason we did it was so that we could listen to each other. One, make sure that like hold each other accountable. But two, that we could pick up tips from one person or the other when it came to leaving messages or when you actually get them on the phone and whatnot. And so it is, you do need that support structure. And unfortunately, a lot of people just automatically think that it's going to be their family. And oftentimes it's not. And that's just the sad truth of it. So you were absolutely right. That is step number one.
Yeah, and then take it step by step. Trying something new can feel extremely daunting. You don't need to perform at the same level upon starting. Break down a new task or project into several mini steps. I did this with becoming consistent at the gym. Like, I love going to the gym, but I was not consistent. I would go for like a couple days and then not go for weeks. But like after I finally nailed down my routine, and just, even if I'm mad, frustrated in the morning, like just like, I don't want to go, dragging my butt out of the bed and not wanting to get out of my PJs, but just getting out of that comfort, going to the gym every day, I started feeling better. I've gained more confidence, and even just being healthier and more confident can help you with your entrepreneurship, because you can talk better, you can feel better, and just lots of benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all starts with you, right? And like I said, so many people get caught up on the downside and just don't think that their dreams are worth it. And like I know I did it. So we were talking about stepping out of your comfort zone and like what's the most uncomfortable thing you've done. And for me, I think it was backpacking Europe, because when I moved from Hawaii to New Zealand, I had set up like the plan. I knew, sort of what I was gonna do. And so that wasn't really that, I don't know, special. Well, not special, but I didn't stress about it. Well, I tend not to stress about things anyway. But then when it came to go to Europe, none of my friends could afford it. None of them wanted to go. And I was like, well, I'm going anyway. Like, I don't care. I want to do this and I'm going. And so I left New Zealand and went to Europe, and I backpacked 35 countries in 3.5 months. And I loved it. And I was on the trains because I was completely by myself. I would either sleep on the night trains or I would sleep at the cemeteries if I didn't want to pay for a hotel because it was cheap and no one messes with you. Every now and then I would get a hotel because, backpacker shower only goes so far. And sometimes I would just need a break. But it was a great way to see the countries I wanted to see, avoid all the touristy crap that I didn't want to see, and like not get drugged to. I saved money by not staying in the hotels or really eating a whole lot because I never really knew where I would be staying and what the access to the bathroom would be. So I didn't eat a whole lot when I was backpacking. And to me, it made total sense. And every time I tell someone this story, they're like, you did what now? And I realized like how uncomfortable that is for a lot of people. I'm like, was it uncomfortable for me to be backpacking by myself? Yeah, some countries were a little sketch and some situations I got into were a little sketch. But I knew I could get myself out of them, and I intentionally didn't look like a tourist. So I didn't take a lot of photos because, a girl walking around with a backpack and a camera, obviously a tourist, bad things can happen. So I was pretty conscientious of not making myself look like a tourist. I didn't have crazy colored hair or anything like that. I just had my hair in a braid, like made sure that I was pretty nondescript while I was doing it as well. So there were steps that I took to, keep myself safe. But, was it uncomfortable? Yeah. Was it worth it? 100%. And when I got back from Europe, I wanted to go down the rabbit hole of affiliate marketing and online marketing and having that freedom to travel and like be a travel blogger or something like that. But my why at that time wasn't strong enough. And so I tried it for like a year, and then my life took a turn, let's put it that way. And I went back to the 9 to 5, and then I went back to 2 9 to 5s. Obviously not 9 to 5, both of them, but had 2 jobs and completely let everything else go. and I'm only recently jumping back in.
Yeah, and that's okay. We're not gonna win every time. And but
True.
backpacking all over Europe, that's incredible, and that probably gained a lot of confidence for you as well. Moving forward after that, you probably can go anywhere in the Phoenix without issue. Like that's nothing compared to probably some places of Europe
Yeah.
that you're in on your own. And especially like the language barriers and culture. But definitely I think that's made you stronger and smarter in the long run.
Oh yeah.
People tend to consider the worst that could happen. Maybe the only thing is that you will feel slightly uncomfortable for a bit. And then ask yourself, what's the best thing that could happen? And if it lights you up, go for it. It's easier to stay
Yeah.
motivated when it lights you up inside.
Yeah. A lot of entrepreneurs will tell you like being an entrepreneur means that you're uncomfortable for a few years so that you can be comfortable down the road. And not being an entrepreneur means that you're comfortable now, which can lead to discomfort down the road. Because again, if you don't have a retirement plan, if you don't have a retirement account, if you have no idea what you're going to do if you get hurt, injured, etc., then your comfort now is a false comfort. Whereas entrepreneurs just accept that period of uncomfortable time because they know the reward is so much better.
Yep. And that's the important thing about starting small and creating habits. There was another great quote from a Forbes article I read, and it says, the brain is designed to conserve energy. When the brain realizes that the demand for effort is not too big, it is more easily willing to perform it. When it succeeds, the reward system is activated, and this triggers motivation. When the brain feels motivated, it is easier to produce the necessary changes in habits or implement new actions. And I love this quote because, again, to get myself to go consistently to the gym, it started with just getting out of bed and doing 10 minutes of yoga. That's it. Just 10-minute stretches every morning. That's all I could muster myself to do. After 30 days or 2 months of doing that, then I was like, okay, now I can do 20 minutes of yoga, or I can do my 10 minutes and then go to the gym for 30 minutes. And you just small steps, you end up with big results in the long run.
Yeah, there's this misconception that you have to have motivation to get things done. And it's been proven that motivation comes with consistency, not the other way around. So it takes consistency and discipline on the days that you don't feel like doing it to do it. And that's what brings motivation.
Yeah. And when you do things and start doing things, getting out of your comfort zone, don't forget to reward yourself. When you reward yourself, it just makes life happier, and you want to keep moving and accomplishing goals and getting out of your comfort zone. That's so important for people to understand, that you really need to tune into your desired reality. You need to visualize it and feel it and have that belief and faith in yourself and whatever it is you're trying to achieve. And when you getting out of your comfort zone does cause stress or anxiety, and training our brain to handle tough situations. A good way to train actually is ice baths. So like getting into that ice bath, that fight or flight response, being able to breathe and calm yourself down while you're in the cold, that is a great way to actually train your brain to be able to step out of your comfort zone and start making a difference in your way of life. And so when you're faced with a complicated situation or a big problem that you're trying to solve, if you can just sit, visualize a place that you feel calm, like I love to visualize I'm sitting on the beach in Hawaii, like I miss that. When I'm feeling stress, if you can just take a moment, breathe, visualize a safe place, and then once you're calm again, keep moving and keep getting uncomfortable, and you'll it'll get easier over time.
Yeah, it sounds so like corny and hippy dippy and everything, but there was a study done, I think, in the 90s with bodybuilders.
Mhm.
And they found that the bodybuilders who would actually visualize getting stronger were able to lift heavier things a lot quicker than the people who were just focused on the muscle building aspect. And so it's very true that whatever your brain tells your body absorbs, whether you consciously know it or not. So if you're one of those people who have a really negative brain and or voice in your brain, kill it.
Yep, I used
I
to be.
don't care what it takes, kill it.
Yep. No, definitely. I was there. I could not shut off that little voice in my head. It was always terrorizing me and tearing me down. But as soon as like, and it takes work, it takes practice, like anything. Like you're not gonna get rid of the negative thoughts overnight. Like it's just, well, some people might, but if you're like I was and really just years and years of doing this to myself for whatever reason, then it's going to take time and consistency. Each day you're going to want to wake up, um, journal, say something positive about yourself, or like have a sticky note on your bathroom mirror, like I do, with
Yep.
your why or like positive affirmations, whatever it takes, because it's it's going to take time to retrain our brains from always thinking I can't do this, I won't amount to anything, like all those thoughts, they just unconsciously are there, um in all of us humans. And
Yeah.
but yeah, just being consistent and showing yourself self-love every day, you can really get out of that mindset and propel forward in your life.
Well, yeah, and even having the capacity to recognize that you're having a negative thought,
Mhm.
determine where it's coming from and squash it. Like that itself is uncomfortable for a lot of people because a lot of people don't want to admit that they're the problem.
Mhm.
That what, whatever it might be in their lives, if it's relationships, if it's work, if it's something like that. And so just doing self work can be very uncomfortable. And so if you're not someone who's done self work before and now you're trying to be an entrepreneur as well, and with as being an entrepreneur you have to work on self work, your brain's going to overload. It's just the way it is, but that doesn't mean it's not worth it.
Mhm.
That just means that you have to accept that, and you have to be willing to do those things, because if you're putting your time and energy into content creation or emails or anything like that, but you're still letting all those negative thoughts affect you, you're going to be very unhappy in 3 months. And I see it all the time with people who don't really know what affiliate marketing is or what email marketing is or how to properly do it because they get caught up on the affiliate part and not the marketing part, which we'll talk more about next week. But they don't want to put in the work. They think it's a fix. And rather than focusing on what they need to do to get better, they just blame the program, or they blame their coach, or they blame, the fact that they don't have money for ads. Like there's all kinds of things you can blame. And so, do you want to be that person who plays the blame game, or do you want to be that person who breaks the trend in your family?
Yep, exactly. And if you are in that ugly negative mindset while you are trying to do affiliate marketing, real estate, entrepreneurship, then you're going to notice typically that your business isn't going to go anywhere with that. I've noticed a lot, like since I shifted my mindset, that like my businesses are doing a lot better now that I'm feeling a lot better within myself, as opposed to when I wasn't. I needed to do my inside work first before I could show it on the outside or start helping other people more efficiently.
Yeah, if you're not confident about what you're doing, how is somebody else going to be confident about what you're doing? Right?
Exactly.
Like a lot of entrepreneurship, real estate, all of it is selling yourself first.
Mhm.
And if you can't sell yourself, you're never going to sell anything else.
Yeah, and take a fail forward approach. So you want to seek out people and environments that embrace failing forward, which is being wrong or trying something without success is okay. And it's the only way that we can keep evolving and growing.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world if something doesn't work. So many people just overreact to little failures, and it's like, why? A
Mhm.
failure is a good thing. Like, if you don't fail, success isn't sweet, right? Like, you have to fail to succeed. You have to,
Yeah.
which sounds so stupid. Unless you're like a millionaire already and can just buy passive income, like, then obviously you're probably not going to fail. But it's when we fail that we actually learn and can analyze, if we can separate the emotion, and get better. And that's why people get paid a lot of money for data analysis. That's why ads, people who run ads or who are pay other advertising agencies, that's what I'm trying to think of. That's one of the reasons they get paid so much, is because they sit there and analyze, like, okay, well, this ad didn't work. Well, what happened? Oh, okay, let's tweak it. Let's do this. This is why you run split tests, right? Like, failing is not the end of the world.
Exactly. And it's okay. So acknowledge your fear. It's important to stay in the uncomfortable learning zone without pushing yourself into the terror zone. Admitting you are scared allows you to become fully present and focus on taking only the next few baby steps. That's
Yeah.
it.
And remember, it only counts as courage if you're afraid. So, there's a lot of people who look at other people and they go, oh my God, they're so courageous. They're not. They were never afraid to begin with. But if you're afraid and you do it anyway, that's courage. And that's amazing.
Yep. And again, we're all human. We're all in the same playing field. Sometimes people look at confident people or people that carry themselves very well as intimidating or scary, but we're all human. We're all the same. We're just different mindsets. So like if you truly want success for your future or for your family's future, you have to get over whatever feelings are holding you back and just go for it and don't have that fear because I make silly TikToks. You're scared to post something on social media because you think people are gonna think something of it. People don't care. Like post whatever you want to post and don't have anxiety or anything about it. Like it's what you want to post. Just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, like I said, you're going to have haters, right? I did a whole series on housing trends of 2023. And some dude in LA got fixated on the fact that I was wearing a steampunk hat. And how could I give trend advice when I still wore steampunk? And I was like, I'm talking about houses, not fashion. Also, I've never followed fashion trends. Also, why do you care? Also, if you're not going to take my advice, that's fine. Don't take my advice. I don't care. You're not my client, right? The people who like you will gravitate to you. You'll attract your tribe. You'll attract haters as well. And if you're somebody who's really bothered about it, just remember that statistically, one hater equals 100 supporters.
Mhm.
They
Nice.
may not be commenting, but they're there. And the haters are going to boost the algorithm. So don't get angry. Don't interact in a negative way, but clap back at them. Like, even if it's just a like, hey, thanks, I hope you have a better day than you're clearly having, or something like that, like engage back with them because it's going to push the algorithm. And then the haters become, weirdly, your best supporters.
That is true. Exactly. Um,
So,
so to kind of wrap it up, where I want to say start with small changes to build confidence, and then increasing the level of challenge can make stepping out of your comfort zone a lot less intimidating. And you want to always train your fearless muscle. So find a role model or go to the gym more consistently or start doing some ice baths if you can. And always remember your why or what you want to achieve.
yep. And break down your goals. It's the same with baby steps, right? Like, start with your big picture and then go, okay, well, in 5 years, this is what I want. Well, that means in 1 year it needs to be this. Well, in or say 3 years. 5 years, I want this. In 3 years, this needs to happen. In 1 year, this needs to happen. In 3 months, this needs to happen. Like, break it down. So for me, like, I broke down my daily, like, what do I want my business to bring in as far as revenue daily? And from that, then now I have a goal tracker. and I'm tracking it every day. You know, I've been averaging $20. Yesterday, I had a $46 day, which is fantastic. Not sustainable. I know exactly why I had that day, and it was a fluctuation, but I'm still working on building it to where, okay, well, if I can take that 20 to 30, then I can take that 30 to 50. I can take that 50 to, whatever. And so, you know, make your goals clear and attainable, but break them down so you know what effort you need to put in. Because at the end of the day, all the mindset in the world isn't going to mean anything the same way all the education in the world isn't going to mean anything if you don't implement, if you don't just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Exactly. And make a vision board. I saw you just remade yours. I need to remake my vision board for this year, and those are awesome. I love them so much, just to be able to look at it, and it really keeps me on track and excited about taking steps forward.
Yeah. I have mixed feelings on vision boards. But for me, it's like first thing in the morning, I wake up and, I've got at least one, if not three of my dogs cuddling me. And for me, that instantly, as soon as I wake up, reinforces my why, because retire my mom, spend more time with my dogs. Those are my goals.
Yeah.
And so, if I don't want to do it, well, I've got 180 pounds of fluff on top of me that says, you know what, you need to do this. So
Yeah. And the people
whatever it is.
And the people that work full time, like we work full time other jobs too. You don't need to burn yourself out to become successful. I was making the mistake in the beginning and like working full time, then work way too long hours after work. And I was getting burnt out, and it was making it not enjoyable and making me not want to continue. At one point, I was like, shit, I just kind of want to work my 9 to 5 again because it's easy and I'm making money and things are fine. But creating a schedule that works for you and you're not totally wearing yourself thin or burning the candle at both ends, and just setting aside just a tiny bit of time each day to work on your personal business or affiliate marketing or whatever it is that you want to supplement your 9 to 5 income with, and just plugging away small steps.
Yeah, I see a lot of content creators too, where they're so focused on the algorithm and putting out content that like you can tell they're stressed, you can tell they're tired, and you can tell they don't like it anymore. Like I content create because I love it. I don't care about the algorithm. I really don't.
Yeah.
And that's why I still like doing it. But even if it's your passion, you can still get burned out, and that's okay. The main thing is just resetting and figuring out how to do it without burning yourself out.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll constantly need to adjust things, and that's fine. You find things that aren't working and you try a different thing that might work, and it's great. Can always
Yep.
make changes, and don't be scared to.
Yeah. One thing to remember is if you need to equate it to brick and mortar type businesses, most brick and mortar fail between 2.5 and 5 years. And the reason they fail is because what gets you to that first million in sales is not what gets you to 10 million in sales. So you have to constantly analyze, readjust, and focus on what's working. And what worked yesterday might not work today.
Yeah.
So it's ever evolving. So don't ever stop learning.
Never. Knowledge is power.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thanks for listening, guys, and stay tuned for next week where Rose is going to tell us all about affiliate marketing.
Yes, we'll deep dive a little bit more on why so many people fail at affiliate marketing, how to do it correctly, how to do it without stressing yourself or anybody else out, and traffic, paid versus organic, how to actually go about it, and what is best for you.
Awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'd love to hear about a time you stepped out of your comfort zone in the comments.
Yes.
Great day.